Have you ever said, I'm old, so it's okay to sleep less? Sounds harmless, right? But each time you repeat that phrase, you're actually trading memory, heart health, and even the chance for a few more years of life. The truth is, each time you downplay your sleep, it's a moment you trade away health, silently and sadly. Sleep isn't just a privilege of the young. It's a precious recovery source for the heart, brain, memory, and emotions, especially after age 60. And what's notable is those phrases you think are self-reassurance can actually make loved ones stop asking, make it harder for doctors to spot problems, and lead you to endure instead of getting proper care. So, if you've ever uttered one of these phrases or heard a loved one say them, please take a few minutes to explore with me 5 seemingly harmless phrases that are silently poisoning sleep and also the health of older adults. And if you feel this video could resonate with someone you care about, please do share it. Who knows, just a gentle reminder might help someone sleep better tonight. Let's dive right in. It sounds simple, like a gentle sigh of resignation. But when an older person says, if I can't sleep, so be it, it is about more than just insomnia. Someone says that, and then the next morning nearly starts a gas stove fire from sheer confusion. Are you sure it's just one sleepless night, or is their nervous system crying out for help? Many older adults get used to waking up midnight, tossing, turning, unable to get back to sleep. At first, it's just a few nights, then it becomes a habit, and when their children ask, they often shake their heads, smile faintly. If I can't sleep, so be it. That seemingly gentle phrase is actually a sign of something more serious, giving up on sleep and on their own body. Sleep is not just rest. It is time for the brain to self-repair, for the immune system to work, for organs to eliminate toxins. And it's when the body produces hormones maintaining memory, emotions, and cardiovascular health. Sleep deprivation, especially for people over 65, not only causes fatigue, but is also closely linked to conditions like dementia, high blood pressure, diabetes, and depression. A study by the National Institute on Aging shows older adults sleeping less than 5 hours per night face a 50% faster cognitive decline risk than those sleeping 7 hours or more. They are also more prone to falls, have slower reactions, and can feel more anxious. A sleep-deprived person not only feels tired, but might be the one who falls, forgetting they just stood up at 2 a.m. And sadly, most older adults consider these symptoms normal, then let them silently erode their quality of life day after day. Ms. Shirley, 75 years old in New Jersey, once told her daughter, I'm old. It doesn't matter if I sleep or not. But after a stove mishap that nearly caused a house fire, her daughter firmly insisted she see a doctor. The doctor diagnosed her with prolonged sleep disorder, affecting her memory and concentration. After adjusting her sleep schedule, practicing relaxation, and changing her diet, she slept well again after just 3 weeks and became noticeably more lucid and cheerful. If you too have sighed, told your children, so be it, whenever a long night was sleepless, then please do reconsider. Sleep is not something to give up on, but something you can and should reclaim for yourself and indeed for those who love you. You can gently start with a cup of chamomile tea in the evening, some light stretching before bed, avoid electronic devices after 9 p.m., and keep a consistent sleep schedule daily. If needed, please do not hesitate to talk to a doctor, because insomnia is not a trivial matter you must endure alone. Do not let the phrase, so be it, become why you lose alert mornings, those days lived fully. Sleep is a right, a gift, and you absolutely deserve to sleep well every night. It sounds like a familiar phrase, perhaps even a strong one. But when an older person says, I stay up all night, I'm used to it, then perhaps they are gradually getting used to utter exhaustion. Each sleepless night you endure not only takes away sleep, but is gnawing at memory, slowing reflexes, and pushing you closer to an accident than you might imagine. When children ask, Dad, are you sleeping well these days? Many elderly fathers just brush it off, replying lightly, I stay up all night, I'm used to it. It sounds calm, but it actually hides a deep fatigue. because the elderly often don't want to bother, don't want to complain, but that being used to it isn't adaptation, it's endurance. And it is that very endurance that causes the body to decline silently, day by day. One sleepless night, a young person's body can recover. But in older adults, prolonged sleep deprivation can easily cause hormonal imbalances, increase blood pressure, weaken immunity, and psychological issues like anxiety, irritability, even leading to mild depression unknowingly. Especially when fitful sleep lasts for weeks, the brain doesn't get to clear out the trash properly, causing amyloid plaque buildup, a factor linked to Alzheimer's disease. Research from Johns Hopkins University shows elderly people with frequent insomnia have a 32% higher risk of cognitive decline, and if it lasts over 3 months, the brain begins structural changes in regions related to memory and emotion. Mr. Henry, 80 from Pennsylvania, used to say, "I'm used to all-nighters. I'll just catch up on sleep in the morning." But in reality, he only slept fitfully during the day and gradually lost alertness. Once, while walking in the morning, he felt dizzy, fell, and broke his wrist. After an examination, the doctor concluded the underlying cause was chronic sleep disorder, affecting his balance nerves and reflexes. He was then guided to change his lifestyle, use daytime light therapy, and practice steady breathing before bed, and eventually he reclaimed restful sleep after many months. If you are living with recurring sleepless nights, please don't see it as something to accept. Used to it is not a solution. It's a wake-up call. Your body isn't designed to endure continuous sleeplessness, and you do not need to get used to fatigue as if it were simply inevitable. Start by getting gentle morning sunlight, avoiding excessive daytime napping, keeping the sleep environment quiet, cool, and turning off lights early. If there is no improvement, confide in a doctor to find the cause and get timely support. Do not let each night pass in silent sleeplessness, because each sleepless night is a fully lived day traded away, and you deserve to have gentle rest again, no longer needing to be used to fatigue anymore. It sounds reasonable, like a way of accepting age, but in truth, the phrase "I'm old, sleeping little is fine" is causing many to miss chances to preserve memory, heart health, and even their mental well-being. You think you are still healthy because you only need 4 hours of sleep per night. The truth is, sleeping less than 5 hours at age 70 plus increases the risk of premature death by 30%, and many never wake up after a seemingly harmless short sleep. The phrase "I'm old, sleeping little is fine" sounds simple, but it hides a harmful misunderstanding many older adults fall into. They believe the older they get, the less sleep they need, that just a few hours of napping is enough, or that sleeping little is an inevitable part of old age. But the truth is, the brain and body of older adults still need complete sleep, no less than younger people. Sleep is when the body regenerates, recovers, and processes memories. When sleep deprived, the cardiovascular system is stressed, memory declines, the immune system weakens, and the spirit also becomes uneasy. Especially elderly people with prolonged insomnia are also prone to high blood sugar, heart rhythm disorders, dementia, and even depression without knowing it. According to the National Sleep Foundation, people over 65 still need an average of 7 to 8 hours of sleep per night. Sleeping less than this, especially under 5 hours, is linked to a 33% higher risk of premature death and also increases rates of falls, household accidents, and reduced self-care ability. Ms. Elaine, 77 years old from Seattle, once told her son, "I only sleep 4 hours nightly. I'm used to it. I'm old now." She felt alert in the early morning, but was lethargic by midday, often forgot things, and occasionally felt dizzy when standing up. When examined, the doctor confirmed she had signs of chronic sleep disorder accompanied by postural hypotension. Just after a few weeks of adjusting her sleep schedule, stopping evening tea, and practicing deep breathing before bed, she slept more sufficiently and her health improved quite noticeably. If you also think sleeping little is normal for old age, please stop and ask yourself, do I truly feel well when I wake up? Am I tired in the middle of the day? Have I ever forgotten something I really should have remembered? Because sleep is not just rest. It is the foundation for every fully lived day that lies ahead. Start gently by turning off lights earlier, maintaining a fixed evening routine, limiting late meals, avoiding anxiety-inducing news before bedtime. If needed, do not hesitate to consult a doctor. Sleep is a big deal, not a trivial matter. If you've ever thought sleeping little is no big deal, remember, many people never wake up simply because they believe that. And if you've cared for your family your whole life, please care for yourself with enough sleep tonight and for all your tomorrows. Maybe it is time I no longer need sleep. That phrase sounds sad and also dangerous because it not only reflects prolonged fatigue, but is also a signal you are giving up on your own health. Someone over 80 sleeping fitfully isn't because they no longer need sleep. It's because their body is so dysregulated, it can't even enter its most basic survival state. The phrase, "maybe it is time I no longer need sleep," sounds light, but behind it is a silent resignation. Elderly people often utter that phrase after long sleepless nights, after many times tossing and turning unable to nap, and after getting used to fatigue without knowing what else to do. They do not say it, but in their hearts, sleep has become something luxurious, a desire exceedingly difficult to achieve. But no, you never run out of need for sleep. Sleep is not a privilege of the young, it is a vital need for all ages. If you cannot sleep, it is not because your body doesn't need it, but because it is disordered. And that is a sign you need help, not to give up. Scientists from Harvard Medical School affirm that sleep in the elderly can become more fragile, but its importance does not diminish at all. Deep sleep is when the brain eliminates toxins, stabilizes memory, soothes emotions, and maintains vital functions of the heart, kidneys, immune system. Prolonged sleep deprivation not only makes the body tired, but also increases the risk of depression, confusion, and significantly reduces quality of life. According to research from NIH, prolonged insomnia in the elderly nearly doubles the risk of falls, accidents, and sudden hospitalization, events that can push them into a life or death situation. Mr. Walter, 82 from Wisconsin, once joked with his grandchild, "Maybe Grandpa is old, doesn't need sleep anymore." But after many consecutive weeks of insomnia, he became forgetful, less talkative, and his mood was erratic. One day while cutting fruit, his hand trembled, nearly cutting himself. The whole family then realized he was not just sleepless, but had begun to enter a state of subconscious loss of control. His daughter took him for an examination and discovered he had sleep disorder syndrome due to underlying anxiety. After adjusting his routine, receiving psychological therapy, and learning to relax his mind before sleep, he gradually regained deep sleep and his spirits also brightened significantly. If you too have uttered that phrase, please understand it is not reality, but the gentle cry of a body needing to be heard. You do not need to live your final years in sleeplessness, fatigue, or lethargy. You can start by stopping self-blame for not sleeping, learning to acknowledge fatigue, accepting that sleep may come slowly, but can still come. Muscle relaxation exercises, soft night music, a regular daily sleep schedule are all small steps for you to gradually find true sleep again. You do not need to wait until you fall in the kitchen or cannot remember your grandchild's name to realize you have been sleepless for too long. Sleep is not a luxury gift. It's the final survival signal the body is desperately clinging to. No need to worry, I am just lying here thinking. It sounds like reassurance, but in reality, it might be how older people hide confusion, insomnia, and even unnameable anxiety. Many elderly people die in their sleep, not because of age, but because of long sleepless nights, their hearts silently exhausted. Many elderly fathers and mothers, when seeing their children worry about their insomnia, often just gently wave it away. "It's okay, I'm just lying here thinking." That phrase sounds so light, yet it opens a door to a silent truth. Thoughts about the past, present, future, about loneliness, regret, or even unsaid things are becoming a silent burden preventing sleep. When lying in bed in the darkness and silence of late night, the mind begins to work more actively than ever. Things you might push aside during the day can reappear as clear as movie scenes at night. And then, Just lying thinking is no longer harmless. It becomes a loop stressing the body, preventing brain rest, and pushing sleep away indefinitely. Scientists from the University of California, Berkeley show excessive nighttime rumination is closely linked to chronic insomnia in the elderly. It also contributes to anxiety, heart rhythm disorders, high blood pressure, and even depression, especially the habit of pretending to be quiet, but internally full of thoughts, makes the elderly increasingly withdraw, living in a heavy inner world unknown to anyone. Mr. Lewis, 78 from Colorado, once confided, "I don't have insomnia, I just think a little. Then in the morning I feel completely exhausted." His son noticed something was wrong when he started becoming forgetful, had difficulty concentrating, and was inexplicably sad. When examined, the doctor advised him to try journaling before sleep, writing down worries, then folding it to deal with later. Just after 1 month, he felt his mind lighter, slept more easily, and his spirits gradually became cheerful again. If you find yourself lying in bed with your mind racing around, understand that is not normal. The body needs rest both physically and mentally, and thoughts, even just a little, if repeated every night, will silently erode health, weakening your heart, memory, and emotions. Try keeping a small notebook by your bed. Jot down what's troubling you. Practice slow breathing, count breaths, or listen to soft music each evening. And most importantly, do not keep all thoughts inside. Talk to children, grandchildren, friends, or a professional if needed. Things spoken out will become much lighter. You don't need a thought-free night. You just need a mind peaceful enough to close out a full day. And you deserve to obtain that by the very kindness that you extend towards your own self. Some nights you are wide awake and no one knows. Some mornings you wake up so tired you just want to lie down a bit longer, and still no one asks why. It's not because they're uncaring. It's because you have unintentionally hidden your exhaustion with those familiar words that are actually harming you. You don't always have to be strong. You don't have to suffer in silence, because you deserve to be heard, to be cared for, even if it is just a peaceful sleep each night. Try to pause for a moment and ask yourself, am I really okay? Or just used to the feeling of no longer sleeping well? Do not let your silence make your children think you are still okay. A simple sentence, "I didn't sleep well last night," could be the key to changing days of silent, unnoticed struggle. If this video struck a chord with you, maybe leave a comment or share it with someone you think is also trying to act okay. Because sleep isn't just about the night. It's the foundation for living healthy, happily, and fully every single day. Thanks for listening. Here's to you sleeping deeply tonight and waking up tomorrow with a truly peaceful smile.